Hello and welcome to our BCCC Takeaways webinar, Highlights from Collision and Startup Summit 2024, organized by the Brazil-Canada Chamber of Commerce, BCCC. I am Alessandra Hoffman, co-chair of the BCCC Kitchener-Waterloo chapter. As you may already know, the Kitchener-Waterloo region is considered the Canadian Silicon Valley, and its tech ecosystem is well developed. As part of our mission to strengthen business relations between Brazil and Canada, the BCCC partnered with IACAT, the Technology Association of Santa Catarina, and launched this new chapter in June during the Mission to Collision, one of the largest tech conferences in the world. This and our in-person event on October 3rd are the first initiative of many aimed at connecting both tech ecosystem and enhancing the bilateral trade between Brazil and Canada in the tech sector. We are excited to have you here. Before we start, we want to thank our annual sponsors, Vale, Proactiva Results, Brookfield, BMA Law, Melo Rock Logistics, and all our members and partners for their continued support. We are an independent non-profit organization that has promoted business relations between Brazil and Canada for over 50 years. At BCCC, we connect. We also thank all speakers for accepting our invitation to participate in this discussion. Without further ado, we invite Alexandre Piana Lemos, Deputy Consul at the Consulate General of Brazil in Canada, and Cristina Horry, Trade Commissioner, for the opening remarks. Alexandre, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Alessandra. Thank you very much. Thank you for the BCCC IACAT for having me here. Welcome you all. As I was introduced, I'm the Deputy Consul of Brazil in Toronto, in charge of the technology and innovation sector, which operates under the mandate of the Programa Diplomacia da Inovação, the program Diplomacy of Innovation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Brazil, which in short has as its goal to foster connections and promote exchanges between Brazil and Canada, more specifically the provinces of Ontario and Manitoba, which are the jurisdiction of the particular consulate I'm in. And one of the ways of fostering these connections is precisely to support internationalization of Brazilian companies and also attracting Canadian companies to Brazil. So last June, the consulate could support a record number of Brazilian entrepreneurs that came to the Collision conference. As a matter of fact, Brazil was the largest delegation with over 50 companies, which is quite an accomplishment. And we also had the opportunity to participate on the very occasion alongside the Consulate of Canada in São Paulo, here represented by Cristina Horry, and of a Brazil Day of very fruitful debates. And we also held a networking cocktail, which could bring together Brazilians and Canadians taking part in the discussions during the Collision Week. But this Brazilian companies then hubs coming to Toronto also had the opportunity to showcase this very refined and yet relatively unknown tech ecosystem we have in Brazil. The province of Santa Catarina, which is here represented by IACAT, is a successful case to be studied. And the consulate is thrilled with the results of the Startup Summit, which took place in Florianopolis last August, about which Silvia Dantas, here present, will talk in more details. The doors of the consulate of Brazil in Toronto are, of course, open for Canadians, investors, and companies willing to know a little bit more about our ecosystem and be put in touch with our partners and institutions. And these conferences and mission north and south of the Americas are really ways of building bridges between tech communities on both sides. And I got to thank BCCC for their continuous efforts in that direction and for their long-standing partnership. And IACAT, of course, which has managed to open the first international branch of a regional Brazilian tech association in Canadian soil. Quite an accomplishment. So thank you all for the opportunity of opening this event, and I wish you all a great webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandre, for your remarks. Cristina, thank you also for being here with us today.
Thank you, Alessandra. It is a great pleasure to be here. It is great to share the panel with friends. And Alexandre, it is good to see you again. Thank you, BCCC, for organizing this event and the invitation to join you today. I had a pleasure of participating in the Startup Summit a few weeks ago and felt the vibrant energy of Florianopolis' innovation ecosystem. The region is considered the second most innovative state in the country, and I understood why. It was impressive to see ACATI's relevance in the region, and the event has shown so much opportunity to Canada. I saw what ACATI Canada is doing to build connections, the call to Canada with FAPESC, which is the State Research Foundation, the partnership with Conestoga College on entrepreneurship. It was great to see the BCCC Canada booth and so much more. BCCC has been a true force in creating meaningful business opportunities to company and a great partner to help us deliver our objectives in building strong bonds between Canada and Brazil. I am part of the Trade Commissioner Service, a Global Affairs Canada network of over 1,000 sector specialists based in the embassies and consulates over the world. In Brazil, where I'm based in São Paulo, we have a team of 30 sector specialists to help Canadian companies to explore opportunities internationally by providing qualified contacts, market information, access to funding, support programs. And we do that by organizing events, introducing contacts, creating business opportunities for companies. So as Alexandre was a great partner to us in Collision, it is very, very important to the Canadian government to also be aligned with the Brazilian government. And the presence of Alexandre is a great value to us. We did partner with BCCC and ACATI to build the Brazilian delegation, as Alexandre mentioned, was the largest international delegation in the event. And we delivered a week program with key innovation players. The Canada session, Canada-Brazil innovation session that Alexandre mentioned was also in which we invited both countries' innovation communities and really proved that there are real interests and potential business opportunities for both sides and showed why Brazil is an important partner to Canada. Canada and Brazil relationship share some strong numbers. Brazil is Canada's most important trading partner in South America with a bilateral trade reaching 9 billion. Brazil is also Canada's second largest foreign investor in the Americas. Brazil has a very vibrant and dynamic innovation ecosystem with the largest market for startups in Latin America, representing 60% of the total startups in the region. The country is also among the top 10 globally in numbers of unicorns and stands the first in Latin America with 53% of region's unicorns. So it is very exciting to see very important innovation players joined here today to exchange experiences and opportunities. Congratulations again to BCCC and ACATI for your remarkable achievements and for hosting this important event. I look forward to hear more opportunities and celebrating new partnerships. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cristina, for your comments and for your support. Now moving to our panel, we are pleased to invite Henrique Bilbao, co-chair of the BCCC Kitchener-Waterloo chapter, VP of Internationalization at ACAT, and CEO of ISOC, and Raquel Boechat, co-chair of the BCCC IST committee and CEO of Canada Start Hub, and Silvia Dantas, marketing manager at ACAT. Henrique, Raquel, and Silvia, thank you for accepting our invitation.
Nice, Alessandra. Thanks so much. the idea is, first of all, show some pictures of what's happening in Florianopolis, okay, people? And I will ask you, Silvia, to help me to explain some numbers in that presentation. And after that, I will talk more about some opportunities and things that happen in the same week in Florianopolis. And after I will start doing the first questions for you, Raquel and Silvia, okay? Let me show my screen, guys. Okay, can you see my screen? Yes?
Yes.
Cool. All right, let's go to the pictures. Some photos we took there. Maybe before you enter in the invite today, you saw a video. We made a video about the event. We had almost 10,000 attendees in Startup Summit. We finished the last day with a band, a local band, was amazing. We had many happy hours happening there, inside the building, outside. Here is Raquel, Christina, and Silvia. I am putting this video here only to you click after this event, because it's not so long, but it's a good video about what's happened during ACATS event. And okay, now is the number. Are the numbers, Silvia? If you can talk a little more about what's happening there, and thank you again for participating.
Of course, Henrique. Hi, everyone. As they said, I'm Silvia, and it's an honor to be here participating on this event, representing ACATS. I'm from ACATS Brazil. Now we have ACATS Canada also, but I'm based in Florianopolis. And well, I'm one of the people responsible for Startup Summit organization in ACATS. So that's why I'm here. And yes, we had like it was our 80th edition of Startup Summit. We do this as a co-realization with SEBRAE. That is it's an institution of Brazil that helps entrepreneurs, not only in technology, but they have a strong branch in technology based in Santa Catarina, our state. So it's a wonderful opportunity for entrepreneurs especially of startups, because we have a huge goal. Our main goal is to present opportunities for those entrepreneurs that attend a Startup Summit. So this year we had, as you can see, almost 10,000 people in the event attending like in person, but we had also almost 30,000 online, and sorry, 20,000 online. We had 10 different stages on the event, one main stage and other 9 stages with more than 20 trails of content. So we try to diversify the content of the event, concerning the stage of the company, concerning the markets that this company have a solution for. For example, we had a trail on education, we had a trail on fintechs, we had a trail on health. So it's really, really strong in terms of content, the event, and also about the opportunities. We invite a lot of investors for the event, and a lot of large companies that may have some business opportunity with these startups. And well, we can talk about more, but it was like a great edition. Yeah.
Nice, thank you, Sylvia. Just to finalize my PowerPoint, well, I made this PowerPoint I needed to present, okay? What's happened during that week? We had many other events, not only Akati Summit. The same what happened during Collision, Web Summit, we have parallel events happening. There we had business verticals in the official schedule. We had International Tech Tour, MIDI-Tech Anniversary, more than 230 attendees. We had our international cocktail. We put 8 different countries in the same place to celebrate the international business happening in Florianopolis. We had Link Lab Open Day. Link Lab is one of the best programs we have in Akati. It's a program to help corporates to find startups to solve problems. And we had a C-level meeting with more than 200 attendees. What's more, in our booth, we had 23 content slots, right, Sylvia, happening, 50 panelists.
Yes.
And slots feature 5 business verticals. Okay, to finish, we had Brazilians going to Canada, Canadians going to Brazil, and in October, more Brazilians are going to Dubai to an event called GITEX. And that's it about my presentation. Let me come back to the questions now. Now, the idea of this meeting is understand more about what's happening in Startup Summit and in Collision. Raquel participates in both, right, Raquel? I want to know, Raquel, I will start with you, my first question, okay? As someone deeply involved in both Canadian and Brazilian innovation ecosystem, what key steps should entrepreneurs take before attending global tech events like Collision and Startup Summit?
Thank you, Henrique. Thank you. Yes, I've been in both of them, representing the CCC and the IST committee. And with these huge events, I think we learned a few good suggestions for the ones that are planning to go next year. One of the key factors is preparation, because as you showed so many numbers, it's like can be super exciting and at the same time overwhelming for everyone going in an event in a different country, different language, like so many speakers, so many booths to visit, startups to know. So you have to plan what is your priority and what are your goals and how you're going to measure these results after all this investment of time and money and dedication, and you are open for so many connections in this opportunity that it's not just a list. You have to really create meaningful connections that are going to last and create opportunities of partnerships or new business or even collaboration in the future, right? So one of the things is the planning. At Collision, one of the things that I like very much in the app is that you can connect before the event. So you can build relationships with people that are meaningful in your sector and your strategy. And then you can also download the contacts that you made so you don't lose everything after the event. You can keep relationship building with the group, right? Another thing is that you can schedule and be part of side events. So here in Toronto, for example, the city events in business incubators and accelerators. So you can have a great opportunity to visit and know more about the ecosystem, not only inside Collision, that's like 20,000 people, but also in the ecosystem and the innovation ecosystem as well. And the same thing in the Web Summit. We had many side events and opportunities to know each other in smaller communities. And this is something that for me was crucial, and I recommend for everyone, is to be aware about the opportunities we have in other events during these huge conferences because then you have the opportunity to talk with 20, 30 people from the same niche or for some specific goal that you have. And then you can really have a better conversation and create a better strategy together than just being there as an attendee. BCCC, as Alexandre was saying, hold many events during Collision here. Besides the cocktail, that's a welcome celebration with all the delegation members and everyone. We also did side events to explain more about the cultural differences, how doing business, and opportunities that international companies can have in Canada. So one thing that I believe for everyone that is planning to go abroad for a conference is to understand better the cultural differences. So they are not going to be surprised with maybe cultural behaviors that are different, how to do business, how to participate in a meeting, even communication etiquette, right? So you can behave as a professional and not only be a professional, but show yourself as a professional in a different culture. So these are some of the things we learned. But I would say that the key part is be in a community, collaborate with each other. If you come with a mission, even better, because then you can have the opportunity to help each other and maximize the moments you have. I can see here in the audience that Rosoni is here, is from Harpa Global, one of the partners at BCCC, and also Paola, that made so many missions to Canada and Brazil. So what I see is that when you have a group, you have the opportunity to help each other and you are not alone.
Oh, nice, Raquel. If I can add something is be ready with your pitch, right? Because we saw in Brazil, I asked the Canadians how many people talked in English with them, and they said around 20 and 30% of the Brazilians in the event talked in English. Was amazing. And when you have your pitch done in a simple sentence, it's easy to people remember who you are, what you do, what problem you solve. And I saw in person this happening in Startup Summit and Collision. Now I want to ask you, Sylvia, to start. The first question is what your, not perspective, your overview of the Startup Summit this year?
Well, I already talked a little bit about this edition, but I think that the most important thing is that we were able to increase a lot the opportunities we could offer for the startups attending the event. So it was more than 800 opportunities that we were able to gather, but I think it's way more, you know, because we can't track everything. And it was wonderful to receive not only the Canadian delegation, but we also had other countries present on the event. And for us, it's really amazing because Startup Summit wasn't born like global, you know. It's a local event. I don't know if everybody knows, but we are in the south of Brazil. We are not in the most big centers of Brazil. We are like a small city in Brazil. But so for us, it's really amazing to see that each year the event grows and has a lot of gain in quality, in content, and the quality of the people that attend the event. I heard this a lot during the event. We had one of the sponsors this year was Dell, and the person responsible said, you cannot imagine the level of the people attending this event and the organization and all of this. you are not able to see this often in other events that Dell participates, and they participate a lot. So it's really wonderful to hear something like this, because we know we are doing a great job. So I'm very proud of this edition, and I think that we can provide a lot more, especially for the entrepreneurs from other countries, and we have great opportunities here.
Nice, Sylvia. And now, Raquel, for example, when you go in events like that, what is your ideas about networking? How a startup can do more networking? Or you talked before about planning before, but when they are there, what is your suggestion? I saw you talking with many people during both events. What do you think is a good strategy to have more leads for your company in an event like that?
Perfect. Thank you, Eric, for the question. The first thing is it has to be a win-win relationship, right? So you have to think about what you can really bring of value, and what the other one that is connecting with you is looking for or needs. It's not only pitching your company and showing what you have, but creating and building a relationship first, where you can both collaborate and find a way to work together. And when we are looking for internationalization, it's not only like go with your company to another country or create a branch, right? Sometimes it's just collaborating my research together, or it's to have build partnerships and representatives in other countries, or bring something new that you can work with in your home country, or learn something with each other. So this active listening and having a meaningful and deeply conversation, I think helps a lot when you are doing network. I don't think it's the best idea to just memorize your pitch and over say the same things, because people are different, they have different interests, and sometimes they do care about different things. So I think the most important is really to be aware that this is the opportunity you have to be with the full attention on everyone that is there, because everyone stopped their work. They are the whole time during the event, or at least that hour that they dedicated to be there, and they are open for networking, right? So if you schedule something, or if they're open for you to have a conversation, that's the moment to create this bond, to create this connection. So that's the first thing. And I think the second suggestion I would say for someone that is in the event, you will not achieve your goal if you don't plan and decide which is gonna be your target, because it's gonna be 20,000 people walking around, and you will not be able to know how to start, right? So the best thing is, okay, I'm gonna watch these speakers, I wanna connect, I don't know, an innovation hub, or I wanna talk to Akachi, or I wanna talk with BCCC in Toronto. You have a few goals that are very crucial for your business. So I would say, like, be aware that these ones you cannot miss, and prepare yourself for that. So what can I bring to this conversation that's going to be valuable? And also, how can I create an opportunity, or in a meeting or in a side event that this person is going to be, then we have more time to talk, because we are not connecting with organizations, right? We are connecting with people. And even more nowadays, I think people want a warm connection. So I would say that you have to be genuine and bring value, and know how to behave in an environment that is not exactly the same culture. So you don't have like any reaction that, like, oh, this person is so rude. No, she's being direct, or we are too warm. Depends on the situation. It can be scary. So it's good to know more and understand how you are going to approach these connections.
Oh, nice, Raquel. And I will ask you, Sylvia, we brought in the last 2 years, at least 30 startups from Canada to visit Brazil, Florianopolis, and other places. And because I don't know if you have time in the end, I will change some questions I prepared to ask you, but I want to, your message to Canadian startups considering joining the next trip to Brazil to Startup Summit. What you can talk for those startups.
Great, Enrique. Well, as you know, as VP of Internationalization at ACATI, we are strongly thinking global for the last 4 years, I think. And we have a huge preoccupation on effectively promoting this network. You know, we don't want to say, oh, we are like we have partnerships on 50 countries, but what's this? You know, what you cannot actually offer for your associates and this kind of stuff. And we want to we want this to be in both directions, you know. So I think that the experience for the Canadian when they come to Brazil, they are very, very rich, you know, because we prepare a very robust program, you know, schedule. So we promote a lot of networking, we promote a lot of opportunities of partnerships and of maybe connecting like with different players and to explore like partnerships or investments, or even to the company to come to Brazil to have a branch here, even if that's the point. But I think this is the difference, you know. The companies that they came here and they have like many opportunities of connection. So I think that this is the most important thing, you know. And we are here, I said it's a little island, Florianopolis, but we are here in a very vibrating ecosystem, very collaborating ecosystem. And this week we were like recognized as the capital of startups of Brazil. So we are like the main city for startups in Brazil. So I think it's a huge opportunity to come here to really see this happening, because it's only that way that you can really understand what's happening here.
This was my next question, but now you answer about this title. Award to as the top one in Brazil is the capital of startups. It's amazing what Florianopolis received. Thank you, Sylvia, for share. And just to people know, if you want to ask something, you have a Q&A place here. You can ask your question. In the end, we will ask for Sylvia, me, and Raquel what you want to know. Raquel, let me try a different way to ask you this question. You know, we participate in many events, big events, small events, side events. When you go to a place like Collision, for example, you know Collision is happening from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Before and after, what is your strategy? What do? You prefer talk with people in LinkedIn and have coffee, or no, you go to participate in events? What is your observation about this team?
Vicky, of course, it's usually 3 days, 4 days of events. So what I see is that, of course, it's much better if you can arrive in the city a few days before or stay a bit more a few days later, because then you can also understand better the ecosystem, so visit a few places and connect with people that you already made contact before. So this I do very often in Brazil. Of course, it's my the country I was born, so I have my network, but I always reinforce and reinforce my connections there before and after the events. So this is something that I really recommend doing. And especially during the event, if there are so many breakfasts and evening events that you can join, so you have to choose well. I can give you an example. We had a Brazil Day with the trade commissioners here in Toronto during Collision. Which was inside Collision, but it was a specific room where we could showcase experiences from Brazilians and Canadians together. And this is a very specific side event. And for those that are looking for international entrepreneurs or connections between the two countries, would be like perfect. Another event we did was in the Toronto Region Board of Trade to understand the opportunities we have here in the ecosystem, where we showcased one example of a Brazilian company that came and now is developing different initiatives to train and prepare other founders. It's I2A2. So we also had the opportunity to create even a stronger bond between the two countries and with people with the same interests. So when I'm in the event, of course I love listening the trends and discussing and understanding better what's happening globally. But I also give me time to be with in a smaller like the special is a smaller side event first, because we need some quiet time, right? It's a lot, and then you can qualify these connections. Another thing that I see many people doing, and I feel it really works, is that if you can take a picture of the people you really had a good conversation. And not only the name or the business card, but the photo, the face, and then you can also share later and say how good was the conversation. So it's a way for you to create a memory for you, but also something that gives you an in-person relationship with people that you really care to continue business later.
Oh, nice, Raquel. And the idea of you start talking about to go early, right? These two events. That's what's happened in Florianopolis. The group arrived 2 days before or 3 days before, and they met some people, some players there. They talked about the event, and during the event, they had more people doing referrals. Was amazing.
Definitely. For example, Conestoga, we had these visits in different universities with them. So I'm sure they're going to continue with building this relationship. Fieschi is working with us in BCCC to develop other activities. And we went there, even Senai, building research together. And of course, when you visit the place before and then you meet again during the event, you are not strangers anymore, right? So you already know their environment, you know the value of the incredible work that they are doing. And the relationship is not with any stranger anymore, right? You already have a warm contact.
Yeah. Sylvia, coming back to the summit, the event emphasized this sustainability, waste management, etc. Can you share more insights of those efforts for us?
Yes, Henrique, but it's really great to hear Raquel talking about what was for her being here and making all these connections. I'm really glad to hear that we are also doing business together, because this is the main goal that we have doing a mission like this. But yeah, the event has like an emphasis on sustainability and waste management. So this year we implemented a comprehensive waste management strategy with 250 recycled bins distributed across the venue. We had like almost 1,500 kilos of recyclables collected. The composting efforts were also really substantial, with 127, almost 28 kilos of compostable waste processed. So this commitment to sustainability aligns with the global best practice and reflects the event's dedication to minimizing its environmental footprint. Well, I think that's it. We also had like some people attending the event with free tickets, especially on people that without that weren't able to participate in Startup Summit. So every year we have like this how can I say, this position of giving some tickets like for programs that works with people in not a very good situation, financial situation. So it's really important also to have these people there and to show that the technology sector is an opportunity for them. So this is really great.
Nice, Silvia. Raquel, we have only a couple more minutes to finish our panel, and after we'll ask questions that people is doing. But before we go, Raquel, can you tell me about unique opportunities you see for Brazilians going to Canada to events and Canadians going to Brazil to events?
Yes, I can. Well, let's say Brazilians coming to Canada for events. One of the things that I learned with Mitax, that is one of our great partners at BCCC, and Gina had the chance, the manager, to go with us in one of the missions, is that we can do applied research together. And sometimes people don't know how to start kind of a partnership or collaborating in a different country. It scares and paralyzes many entrepreneurs. But if you have the opportunity to do a research together, use the lab and the infrastructure from Canada and develop projects that are meaningful for both sides, right? For the researchers to apply what they are doing, and for the companies to create innovation. That's one of the steps that I would highly recommend for Brazilians. I know that Brazil is super creative, have amazing startups and technology, and the companies want to evolve more in innovation. And Canada is the heart of AI and deep tech, biosciences, fintech, and health tech. So it's a place where you have infrastructure to offer for international companies that want to collaborate together. So one of the things that I would say, and be aware about the opportunities, connect with us at BCCC and with partners that we have with Cristina, Alexandre, what kind of collaborations in research we can have. And also think about how flexible the Brazilians are, so we can manage long distance connections and be creative to really do very good work together. Regarding Canadians in Brazil, I would say that first, Brazil is a huge continental country with more than 230 million people, highly developed in innovation, creative entrepreneurs, and hubs, innovation hubs open to collaborate with international ecosystems like Akachi and so many partners that we visit there. So I think the warm reception that we have in Brazil, that is open to listen, learn, and share. This is very valuable. And even if you don't speak the language, I saw many of the Canadians in the mission that just used the Google Translator and did their pitch anyway. Building the relationship in Brazil, it's what matters. So when you feel that you are in a trustable environment, you have a strong partnership, the language is not a barrier, but you have to know the path and the journey. So building these partnerships and having guidance to go in places where you can trust and that you know they are going to commit with what they are doing, right? So I think both countries have so much to offer to each other, especially connecting different cultures, but with the same desire of innovation.
Nice, Raquel. I go, Silvia, to the last questions to you, okay? Not about my questions, not about the attendees. Of course, for us Brazilians, we know Florianopolis is quite famous about the ecosystem, but I want you to elaborate what makes an ideal destination for startups. I know Santa Catarina, for example, the state where Florianopolis is, has more than 22,000 tech companies. The GDP is 6.3% compared with the rest of Brazil, that's 3. But can you elaborate more about the best destination for startups?
Let's try. Well, I think that Florianopolis especially is like an ecosystem really, really dynamic, with strong support from local government and from other institutions, not just Akachi. We have a really collaborative community and a growing number of successful startups, and startups are like emerging every day. We have one of the 5 most better incubators of the world, and Midtech, and it's managed by Akachi and Sebrae. So I think that for Canadian startups, this environment provides a perfect background for exploring new markets, you know, for learning from a different but maybe complementary startup culture. And setting up a base like in South America could be a really great opportunity, you know. Our ecosystem is really open. It's full of opportunities for like if the startup needs some mentorship, or if the startups need a partnership or an investment. So maybe it's a great opportunity to look for other markets that are not in like North America, you know. And I think also that I think that participating on Startup Summit and knowing all this ecosystem will make for the startups to have like really valuable insights, like to create cross-border relationships and opening doors like for new markets. So I think, yeah, I'm a bit proud of my region and all that we are doing here, but I think that it's a really valuable opportunity.
Nice, Silvia. All right. I go now to the questions that some people asked, okay, for you both guys, to finish our event. Let me start with the Andre Moura question. He asked, how can, let's go to you, Silvia, first, and after to Raquel. How can Brazilian startups best prepare for Web Summit Vancouver happening in May 2025?
Okay, let me see. I think that the first thing that you have to think about, it's what you want, like, from this event. You know, it's the content, it's the networking, it's to try to find an opportunity, it's to know the market of Canada. I think that's the first thing, because you won't be able to do everything. And if you are looking for connections, for network, for opportunities, I think that the best way is starting now, to connect to local hubs, and like to know more about ACAT Canada, to know more about BCCC and other hubs that we are already connected. Because as Raquel said, once you meet this person there, you are not strangers anymore. You know what each hub has as a strong, like the strongest thing of this hub, so you can really go to make a direct connection, and to be more objective, to find what you're looking for. So, and buy your tickets, because the American dollar is increasing and it's not cheap. So prepare yourself to be able to be there.
Nice. I want to add something. Buy your tickets, airfare, etc. But you start talking with people from that place to give you advice, connections. For example, is coming companies from Joinville to Canada in the next month. They asked before to Christina, to many other players, to help to create connections. Now they are not more strangers. They are people that know someone, know what they do, and it's easy to do network. And that's my part in this advice. And Raquel, what do you think about prepare for Web Summit in
For preparation,
Yeah.
adding with the both of you mentioned before, I think is prepare well your business virtual living room. I mean, LinkedIn. So if you are a Brazilian coming to Vancouver for Web Summit, prepare to connect with international leaders, right? So present yourself, what you are looking for in different markets. Who are you, but explaining the brands that you are connected, because no one knows the local brands. So you prepare yourself and prepare your virtual rooms that they are gonna look for to know more about you. And the last thing I would say is before coming, also create those connections in advance. You can start now, so you're not gonna have like a LinkedIn without any Canadian connection. You're gonna build this along this year, and you are gonna be already in the ecosystem, even virtually, during this time. And regarding BC, we have very close to BC, we have a US strong ecosystem as well. So when you are there, you can also think about connections you want to make in the neighbors and in other meaningful provinces. For example, beside British Columbia, we have Alberta, and for who is from agri-tech, for example, is a great place to connect. They have also AI labs, and Edmonton and Calgary are also great environments to connect. So maybe think about ways to connect with other leaders from different provinces that for sure are going to be there during the event.
Nice, Raquel. Thank you, Connie, for putting information about Consensus 2025. And the last question I will ask you both, now starting with Raquel, is Henrique Correa asked, is there any entity in Brazil that can help Canadian importers to find potential products in Brazilian market?
Well, there are a few organizations in Brazil that support exportation and importation of projects. One of them is Apex, that supports internationalization and exportation projects in Brazil. FINEP, that works with innovation. So I would suggest to connect our SEBRAE or the Business Incubator, Accelerator, or organizations inside the government like Apex or FINEP, that they can see exactly the niche that the person is looking for and support them on this. I would say also the consulates, for example, Alexandre that was here with us, and Cristina. Cristina regarding Canada and Alexandre regarding Brazil. They can help for sure supporting the companies to understand better how they can do business, bilateral business, and what are the opportunities, the gaps, and also the best journeys to be successful. I think Cristina is with her hand up.
Yes. Cristina, please help us. You are muted. You are muted.
Is the technology delay? Thank you. Great questions and great questions and great ideas there. Just to complement on preparing to Web Summit Vancouver, do keep in touch because we may be organizing programs or organizing the delegation itself. So it is important to us to understand what is the scale of interest to the event. And the other thing is, as Raquel said, the government of Canada in Brazil will be looking to the other way around. So it is if a Canadian company is looking to sell and export to Brazil, and then I can be the main point of contact. And we, as I mentioned, we have sector specialists. So I'm very happy to put it to the right person. And on the other way around, if a Canadian company is looking for Brazilian products to be sold in Canada, and then as Raquel said, is Apex. And also in Brazil, we have a culture of associations for every single sector. So they are the sector specialists. They do have a good number of associate members and could be a good place to start exploring it as well. Thank you. That's it.
Nice, Cristina. Thank you again. And I want to say thank you now, Raquel and Silvia, to being here with us. And Silvia, your conclusion words for people that came here to know more about Collision and Startup Summit, please.
So it was a pleasure to be here. I was quite nervous because English is not my first language, but I think it was okay. Just complementing the last question, if you are a company from Santa Catarina, you also can join ACATI. We do have an internationalization thematic group that opens lots of doors, like with international hubs and to other countries. And we have lots of partners also that can help you on your doubts. So it could be like a great opportunity too. And if you want to know more about it, I can talk. I think it's Henrique, like that made the questions, right? It was a really pleasure, and I hope that you from Canada start to think about coming to Brazil on our next mission, because it's a really, really great opportunity. And for those that are going to Vancouver, or they're looking for the Canadian market, talk to Henrique, talk to ACATI Canada, because Henrique is doing a wonderful job over there, and it's opening like lots of doors, also makes a lot of connections. And BCCC also has been a great partner of ACATI, opening lots of doors also. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Silvia, thank you for your participation. And Raquel, please.
Well, first of all, thank you. And it was a pleasure being with all of you today and with this audience, great participation. Just to add about the Web Summit, I would invite everyone to connect with us at BCCC. We are probably organizing the same welcome cocktail in collaboration with one of the organizations in British Columbia. So during the Web Summit, we'll be there. And also to prepare yourself to be here and knowing more about how doing business in Canada, how to prepare with negotiation skills, with communication etiquette, understanding the ecosystem, and building trustworthy connections. And I'm sure Cristina, Alexandre, ACATI Canada, BCCC are great partners. Count on me as well as IST co-chair committee leader and with my company, Canada Startup Hub. And let's build an innovative ecosystem globally and collaborate together.
Thank you, Raquel. Chris, your last words to the attendees.
Não estava na agenda, hein? It was, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the conversation. Great insights from Silvia, Raquel. Thank you. It's always a good learning opportunity. Henrique as well, Alessandra. It's always a pleasure to be among friends. And I think this is the best part of our job, to create those bonds. And we will, to everyone listening to us, we do work well aligned. So don't worry about you can reach out to each of us and we will talk among each other as well to align. Thank you so much and hope to see you in Vancouver.
Nice, thank you, Christina. And before you go, people, just remembering we will have an event in October 3rd. We will host the Tech Connect Brazil, exploring business opportunities in the Brazil tech industry. We'll be in Canada in person, in Kitchener, Waterloo area, and you are invited to go. Thanks so much.
Henrique, we also can again, in behalf of BCCC, thank our sponsors, partners, members, speakers, and guests for this amazing webinar. It will be available on YouTube in the upcoming days. And this is one of the many events that BCCC organizes to promote connections within the tech sector. So thank you so much. Thank you for the invitation.